Well, ladies and gentlemen, that keeps us leaping right into our next presenter, who we heard did a little bit of a sound test. And he is an expert trader of the news. He actually got started studying at the Berklee College of Music and the Boston Conservatory. He began trading stocks in 2001 and learned the art of futures trading. He's been trading for over 20 years and is now considered an expert teacher and trader of the news. Here to present new 10-Minute Trades Pro membership is Mr. Lee Goldstein of 10-Minute Trades. Welcome back to Traders Corner, Lee.
Hi, Rob. Can you hear me okay?
I can. You sound like you got a little bit of a gargle in your throat, though.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a cold here, so I apologize. Thought I was sending that
It's
test
going
out to
around.
myself. Um,
It's going around to all of us in the Northeast, my friend.
I need control of the screens because I don't have a way to. Right now, you didn't give me, you know what I mean.
Oh, excuse me.
That's
Let me
okay.
go hit the button for that.
No problem.
Lee, make presenter, yes.
There we go. Thanks. Give me
And
one
let me give you
second,
the questions
everybody.
box, too.
Give me half a second to set up, and I'll be right there. So one
Screen,
not
it
it.
looks like you got somewhat of a minimized PowerPoint presentation in it.
Yes, you can see my screens, right?
Yep, we're looking
Okay.
at your desktop. That's a lot of icons.
Oh, okay. Bear with me. Sorry. There we go.
There we go.
Okay. All right. I've got the screens. I've got the people. So I'm ready to go. 2 more seconds. So I want to welcome everybody. I'm Lee Goldstein from 10 Minute Trades. And forgive my throat, but I don't know what happens when you become a grandparent. Even though I'm only like 40 years old, sometimes you just catch everything that the kids have, and that's what's going on. So I apologize for my voice. So I will answer every question that anybody asks during the presentation. If I don't get to it at the moment and I'm speaking, I promise I will answer any of your questions before I finish. So feel free to ask away while I'm speaking, and I will get into everything that you asked before I leave. So, as I said, I'm Lee Goldstein, the trading director. If you stick around for my whole presentation, I have a really nice free gift for everybody. I'm going to talk about our new pro membership, talk a little bit about what 10 Minute Trades does and the way that we do it, because we have a very unique way of trading and we're different than a lot of the other companies. And we offer something that actually works really well in conjunction with any other company that you want to trade with. So it's great to think of us as your main trading system or your part-time trading system or the system that you use when you trade those great low-cost options. It works. We work with everyone, and we're a great add-on, especially. So I just want to let everyone know that you can use us in all different ways that you want. Like I said, I'm the trading director for 10 Minute Trades. Please don't forget it's possible to lose money trading futures. Trade carefully and read the disclosures so you know what you're doing. It's very important to trade money that you can afford to lose. Don't trade your mortgage money. So we have a special methodology of trading. We trade appointment-based trading. That's the style of trading that we take. And when I say appointment-based trading, very simply, we create a weekly schedule. We send that weekly schedule to our members, and then we meet in our trade room and we teach our members how to use our software to take these eventful trades. And I'm going to get into how we find these trades, why these trades work, why they move markets. This is this week's schedule, just to give you an example. So we were in our trader, and by the way, you can get our free schedule just by going to our website, www.10minutetrades.com, and you can sign up for our free video, how to find your own 10-minute trades, and we will automatically send you our free schedule. So look, I see a question already that I have to answer because it's the most common question that traders always ask. What's your P&L? So I don't have a P&L because I don't trade every single news event known to man. So you don't want to think of our P&L as somebody that has a specific number of trades that they take, and that's their P&L. We trade events. Every event has its own P&L, and that's how we trade. So, for instance, today we traded Chicago PMI. All right, you see it's got this little red FMT next to it. That's short for Family Money Trade. Chicago PMI has been above 75% wins in the past 8 months. So that's been 8 trades over 75% winners. That's the current P&L on Chicago PMI. Most of our trades, most of our events, and not every single one, because we do a lot of different things. We trade earnings with futures. We trade jobs reports. We trade GDP reports. But so I just feel like I have to address this important question. The P&L of Chicago PMI, it's not quote unquote a P&L. It's a setup that shows you on our daily trade report that we send to our members how this particular event has done the last 6 times that we traded it. This is how we determine whether or not we want to take a trade. I'm sorry for that. This particular event has had quite a lot of winning trades over the past 6 months. It was a winner in July. It was a winner in August. It got stopped in September, and it won October, November, and January. Also, we traded it today. Why don't I show you today's trade? I just left that trade room. And look, not every trade has a winning P&L. The trades that don't have great performance are the trades that we warn members to be ultra careful about. The thing about news trading is different than other forms of trading. Lots of people used to say, don't trade the news, it's too dangerous. Not true. You have to have the right tools to trade the news. And the right tools are good software to help you trade the news and good setups so that you know how to use the software to set the trades up. This particular event this morning, we traded it with gold. We know something that most other people do not know about this particular trade. We know that Chicago PMI is not actually a trade that takes place at 9:45. If you look at the calendars of events, and this is the way we find our trades at 10-minute trades. So let me backtrack because I'm all over the place. We trade fast-moving market events that we know are going to move the market because we have studied these events, some of them for years, okay? So we know that these events are going to move the futures markets. We're trading futures using the NinjaTrader platform with our software that installs into NinjaTrader. We study events by going to a calendar such as Forex Factory, for instance, or we might go to Financial Juice, for instance, or we might go to investing.com, for instance. Those are our 3 favorite economic news event calendars, okay? Those calendars show you, and once you learn how to understand these calendars, and they're very simple, investing.com has a methodology where they show you stars. The more stars that an event has, the more impact that event has on the market after that news is announced. Financial Juice, they have a color-coded system that they use, but they're unique in that they also have a talking squawk box. Really cool feature. If you subscribe to their pro version, you'll be able to hear the news in your headset. And then Forex Factory also has a system. They use colored file folders, red for more impactful than yellow, and then medium impact orange. But here's the interesting thing. Once you learn the secrets, once you learn the smart things about trading news, it's like I was saying, you'll learn things that other people don't know. We discovered something special about Chicago PMI. The calendar says that that is a 9:45 event and that it took place today at 9:45. It's a little bit hard to see that. Trust me, that's what it says. We know for a fact, because we've studied that event, we know for a fact that that event did not take place at 9:45. Well, I should say this. It took place at 9:45, but it actually took place at 9:42 because the subscribers to the data of that report, there's a private group of subscribers that get the data 3 minutes early, and it's the subscribers that actually move the markets on Chicago PMI. We trade that report at 9:42, and at 9:45 we look for a second trade. This morning, if you notice, my clock here is on 9:42. I'm in the market long gold. We triggered our orders with our software, putting the orders on the chart, these little X's. The news came out, it made gold push up. It just missed hitting my first 8-tick target by 1 tick. And it was a very strange, there was a big news report this morning, the PCE price index. That caused the gold market to get very bullish, and actually the ES market got very bullish after that as well. I had some concern that maybe gold would be muted on the Chicago PMI trade because of the move that we saw in the market because of earlier news. Sometimes a trade might be muted. So I took a quicker little target. Instead of 8 ticks, I think I took 5 ticks. And then I moved my stop automatically. Actually, our software moved my stop automatically to break even -3. And then I just started trailing a little bit as the Chicago PMI trade started working. And, it's interesting that Price, the gentleman before me, said something interesting that on an options trade, you could have multiple positions, and one of the positions can be profitable. And then no matter what happens in the trade, you can wind up with a profit. And that's also very true of news trades. It's sometimes easier to make money trading multiple contracts than it is trading one. Because when you trade multiple contracts, and this is true of options or stocks, multiple shares, when you have multiple positions, when you hit that first target, which takes out one position, you can move your stop to protect your profit so that no matter what happens in the rest of the trade, you don't have to lose money. That brings up a lot of other trade management questions and issues, but suffice it to say that it can be a very effective way of protecting profits, especially on fast-moving events. But Chicago PMI this morning was a profitable trade. I think that has been 7 out of the last 8, including the holiday Christmas trade, December 29th. And you could see that this pushed up, hit our first target with a little bit of help, but then it went up. And it actually ultimately hit the high of the day, but I was actually getting ready to trade the 9:45 part of the trade. So missed the high, but we made just under $200 in a couple of seconds on that Chicago PMI trade. We also had a natural gas setup today. Natural gas, and it's interesting, again, the gentleman who asked, what's your P&L? Natural gas is its own separate animal. So natural gas is an instrument and an event that we've been trading for years. And right now, natural gas is on watch. Okay, but something interesting happened today. and it brought up an interesting, fascinating communication in our trade room. We were talking about, if you look at our daily market report, and this is a report that we call the DMM. Our service consists of three special items that are subscribed to, and they obviously have a subscription price. And the fourth item is our free schedule. 10minutetrades.com. Get our free video, how to find your own 10-minute trades. Bingo, you can have our free schedule. But we have three items that our members pay for. The DMM, the Daily Market Mover, that's this report here. Access to our trade room and access to our software. All of those things make up our Pro membership, which I'm going to talk about today. Part of the Pro membership, we send out our Daily Market Mover the day before the event takes place. So yesterday, you received our trade report on natural gas. When you look at the report, on the middle part of the page, on many of our reports, not all of them get the full treatment because not all of the setups are as stable as natural gas because the markets are very volatile these days, and especially with the Fed raising and lowering interest rates, doing the things that the Fed does. There are events that are changing every month or every 3 months. So sometimes we don't have the same level of research showing what the trade did with today's setup. We still have testing and we still have lots of information that we bring to the trade room about the event so that we're never trading an event randomly or just like a coin flip. And we have a joke in the trade room, or we have a trade that we call a coin toss. A coin toss trade is a trade that's 50-50. You know, it could go either way because that's what the testing's like. Some trades currently are a coin toss. Natural gas is worse than a coin toss. You can see it. If you would have traded it the last 6 weeks in a row, you only would have had one winner. But we wouldn't have been recommending that you trade it today or last week, or probably not the week before, because we know that natural gas has gone into a mode where it's not trading well. So we still often have trade rooms. We teach our members about trading natural gas. We teach them about what it's like to trade natural gas. We have a secondary trade after the news comes out on many trades. But in particular, today we didn't recommend trading natural gas. But I explained to our members that I have a trade that I don't always recommend, but I call it a probability trade. Because if you think about it, excuse me, what we're doing here is we're always trading probabilities. No matter what system you're using, everybody's doing their research and they're trying to take the best trade that has the best probability. You know, it's not gambling. We're trading probabilities. So there is some meaning when I say to my members, you know, we've been trading natural gas for years. It hasn't had a good trade hardly at all in a month and a half. I'm going to take today's trade because I think there's a probability this trade's going to work just because it's been so lousy. I would not recommend that most people try to build their account up on a probability trade because it's anecdotal. I don't think that we've done enough testing. We haven't pulled up all these reports that have 4 and 5 bad trades in a row. It's hard to find them anyway, because most of our reports don't do that poorly, or we wouldn't trade those events. The point I'm making is you can occasionally take a probability trade and it'll pay you. It's probably not our main focus on the type of trade that I would take. I would rather trade natural gas with live real money or in my prop account, which you can do, by the way. You can trade news in prop accounts as long as the company supports news trading. Just as a heads up, Apex does not. Top Step does. So you can trade news, but as I was saying, I would want to trade not so much a probability trade, only one winner in the last six. I would like to trade when natural gas has four winners in the last six. But here's the funny thing, just to show what natural gas did today. The probability trade was a work of art. Now, I did not take it live for full transparency. Um, you'll see what's going to happen here. Our orders were on the chart at the beginning of this video. The news came out, and the natural gas news was that there was a lot less gas around than expected. That's why these reports work. Okay? Why did these reports work? I could go through my slides and I can tell you why these reports work is because there is a forecast for all these news events. And if the forecast is very different than what's expected, then we get a very significant move in the market most of the time. There is no always in trading, at least for me. It's not always one way and it's not never another. Those are two words I don't use in trading, always and never, because the day that you say always is the day the market will do what always was not supposed to be. Most of the time, when there is less gas around, the price will go up like it did today. It'll hit both our targets, and that probability trade will pay you. The trade that I was going to take was a reversal trade after the news. The news result was extremely bullish today. And, again, full transparency, I actually made a mistake. And I don't know what I was thinking. Instead of hitting my short button, I turned off my trade for a second and did not take the reversal. You could see the natural gas was making a new high after the news. It was about a minute and 11 seconds after the news. And then that reversal, and it can be risky to take reversals just when they're making new highs. Because if you're a trader and you've been doing this for a while, you know that you don't always know when that new high is done making another new high, or another new high, or even another new high after that. It's very possible you could get 10 new highs before you get a reversal. Excuse me, I'm really sorry. Today, it wasn't that way. If I would have gotten in where I had meant to, we had a big enough stop to survive the little boost it made. It went up about 20 ticks or so. And then natural gas made a really nice reversal. We study a lot of these instruments, and we see this kind of move so often in some of the instruments that we trade. And that's why in our software, we have a setup that lets us easily take advantage of a change in direction after the news. We call it our reversal setup, and it just puts a couple of buttons on the chart that allow us at our discretion to go long or short instantly and enter the market. But our software has stops, targets, and a safe way to trade as if it was an ATM, an automated trade management program, because our software essentially is an automated trade management program. Okay, so today, natural gas, a great probability trade. What we did, we made a weekly schedule, just to recap, made a weekly schedule. We met in the trade room to trade natural gas, to trade Chicago PMI, to trade this morning's PCE price index, which we had a losing trade on, unfortunately. Not every trade's a winner. We make an appointment with the market. We know which instruments we're going to trade. We know which events we're going to trade. And then we spend roughly about 40 minutes in our trade room for most events, discussing how to set it up, watching the previous history of the event, and then we move on to the next event. So why appointment-based trades? I hate sitting in the market for hours at a time. I'm not going to do it. I don't know anybody that wants to sit in the market. I don't like sitting waiting for setups for hours at a time. I want to be in the market as little as possible because I think everybody knows the longer you spend in the market, the greater the opportunity to screw up or to lose your trade. The less you're in the market, the better. Most trading and waiting for trading is boring. You sit around waiting and waiting. Everything else is very subjective compared to the way that we trade. I don't need to look at Elliott waves. I don't really look at candlestick patterns very much. We don't look at Fibonacci's or Ichimoku clouds. But I will say this, we do look at some support and resistance. I do like Fibonacci's. I think they're one of my favorite indicators. Most indicators are lagging. They don't keep up with the market anyway. They're fine for trend trading. They're fine for slow moving trading. But most indicators don't keep up with news event trading the way that we trade. So you don't need that kind of deep analysis. Most of the time, it doesn't matter what the analysis is because those news events, they function in a vacuum. Now, it's not always this way because remember, it's never always, but most of the time, when that natural gas trade comes out, it doesn't care that much what natural gas has been doing all evening or all morning. The news is going to create a significant move in natural gas almost every single week. And then if it's not a huge difference in what was expected, natural gas will go back to doing what it was doing. Sometimes the news is so impactful that it changes the market and the market creates a new trend or the market starts falling, right? So that's the importance of news trading. And that's why your indicators are not always valuable for the type of trading we do. They're great for after the news trading. They're great to analyze what might happen before the event. Maybe an area of support or resistance can be a warning of something that might happen in the trade. Because let's be honest, highs of the day, lows of the day, those levels are extremely important and they act as magnets. And we actually have a brand new software update. It's actually probably going to be a brand new strategy that we're going to offer. That's magnet trading. And magnet trading is very news related and it's also a form of trading that happens without news. These areas of support and resistance are so important, and so many people look at the same ones that they pull the price towards them, creating trading opportunities. So that's something that I've been looking at for years, and we finally decided to put it into a strategy. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, but it does sometimes affect what happens after the trade. If you look at today's natural gas trade, we definitely use those areas of support and resistance to help us make a determination of areas we might be interested in for potential continuation or reversal trades. Today, natural gas, the high of the day, absolutely an area of interest, as would have been the low of the day, that red little line on the chart. So there are certain indicators or certain subjective things that we look at that I think are important. But most of them you don't have to spend time on because they're not going to come into play unless you're trading much longer time frames than we do. Okay, so you realize, if you realize you've learned so much that it's hard to believe. I've explained to you why our trades work, and it's because when the news is released, the result is different from the forecast. You've learned What causes that movement? You've learned that we can use futures, and I want to touch one more great thing. We discovered a fantastic way to trade earnings using all of these same methods. So we trade major stock, particularly tech earnings, using futures, and we make some really nice profits doing these trades. NVIDIA has been a very bothersome earnings trade to me for a very long time. Earnings are quarterly. We discovered a way to trade the NQ futures with NVIDIA because when NVIDIA releases their earnings, and we trade this way to trade Apple, I trade this way to trade Facebook, Amazon, Google, Netflix, Home Depot, Target, etc. We have a whole bunch of these earnings trades that we trade with futures. Different futures. Might be the YM, might be the NQ. NVIDIA has been a thorn in my side for the past year. So the past year means there were 4 fantastic opportunities for profit trading NVIDIA earnings. We had one very nice trade. We made about $500 trading NVIDIA earnings, but every other quarter, something happened. I couldn't tell when the earnings came out. I was confused because of the price action. They were late with their earnings one quarter where they were 10 minutes late. So here's something interesting that you have to understand. Most normal news events, when I say normal, Fed statements, Fed minutes, US GDP, Australia GDP, those types of reports, most of those are highly regulated. Highly regulated in the sense that they're not allowed to release those reports early because of insider trading, and the governments of the various countries regulate those trades, particularly in the US, that's true. You notice, how often do you ever know what the US jobs report data is before the trade? In all the years I've been doing this, I don't think I've ever known that information. The data is kept highly confidential because of all the legal issues surrounding insider trading, etc. Now, of course, there are people that know that information. We're not going to talk politics here. And there are people that profit on it, but not us, not the regular, normal people. And in a way, that's okay. We're not looking for get rich quick schemes. I mean, some people are, but the reality is get rich quick schemes don't exist. You got to have a good system. But NVIDIA and stock earnings are different. The companies aren't regulated. They don't have to release their stock earnings at 4:10 exactly. If they say they're going to release them at 4:10, they might be 4:12, they might be 4:05. And if that's the case, it makes it very tricky to trade the earnings. So we've studied hundreds of stocks we've looked at, and we find the best ones that are reliable about the times that they release their earnings. And NVIDIA has owed us for a while. And the last NVIDIA trade was last week. And I've been waiting. I've been telling our members, I can't wait for NVIDIA. If this is the only trade you trade it this week. This one, it's going to work because NVIDIA has given us nothing but trouble for a year. We have a bunch of tools that we use, as many of them as possible free or very inexpensive, that we teach our members to use with us or on their own so they understand how to do what we're doing. I have a Thinkorswim Schwab account, okay, which also is a great options trading account for people that like options. But for a very small amount of money, you could keep $50 or $100 in your Thinkorswim account, and they give you data for stocks. They give you futures data. They're a great company. I highly recommend that everybody use them as a broker for data and studying. It's really helpful. I have $50 in my Thinkorswim account, and we use their charts to watch the stock earnings. So I know when NVIDIA earnings are coming out now, exactly when. And watch what happened. We're trading the NQ. I'm telling you, I knew this NVIDIA trade was going to be a winner. I didn't know it would be good, bad, medium, small, big. I knew they were going to be on time with their earnings. NVIDIA usually comes out with their earnings 4:20 and about 40 seconds. That's the norm. That's exactly what they did here. And interestingly, also, there was very, very little pre-trade volatility. So that boom, as soon as they released their earnings, there was a monstrous explosion in the price of the NQ. There it is. That trade lasted a nanosecond. When it was over, we had a $1,500 profit in NVIDIA. Every single person except one person in our trade room made a very nice profit on their NVIDIA trade. And that's what we teach our members to do in our trade room. We taught our members to trade Cisco. In November, we never traded Cisco before. We had a trade room. We watched the trade. We studied the trade. We had a setup. We saw Cisco explode. Okay? We knew we had an opportunity for the next time that Cisco was going to trade their earnings, because look at this move. If Cisco affects the market this much, that's an opportunity. We want to study that opportunity, teach our members how to do it. One of our members sent me his Cisco trading video in February, just recently. He traded Cisco and he made a very nice profit using our software. Here's his trade. There's the orders, just like on my charts. The orders get filled. Cisco happens to trade on time when they say they're going to. And when his trade was over, it was about a 30-second trade. When his trade was over, and he traded it in his prop account, okay? He had a nice profit over $200 trading Cisco. I want to show you some member screenshots because I've only got a little bit of time left. Here's a member, $675 worth of profits, trading two European reports that we trade overnight, 3 in the morning and 3:15 a.m. in the morning Eastern Time and 3:30 in the morning, the German flash manufacturing and the French flash manufacturing. Our members are making money on these trades. $675, one of our members made. We made over $500 on these two trades. It was about 10 days ago that we were in our trade room at 3 in the morning. One of our members trading in Kenya made over $1,192 on the WASDE grain report. That's a monthly trade we take every month. Now look, every month it's not a winner, but more often than not, it is a winner. It's currently a family money trade. That means that at least 6 out of 10 are winners, okay? At least 6 out of 10 are winners. We have trade after trade, many trades like that are doing great. Amazon earnings are at the top of our trading right now because their earnings trades have been fantastic. We know what time Amazon releases. We know if they're reliable or not. And in October, we made $805 on Amazon. I think it was the previous quarter, we made over $1,000 on Amazon. Apple, very reliable earnings trade. This week, forget earnings for a second. Core durable goods, a very popular U.S. data report. We trade it with gold futures. We know when that report comes out. Most of our previous reports have been profitable with gold. It hit our first gold target. You could see it was a little bit slow. It wasn't a 1 second trade, but ultimately over $150 profit, 20 seconds in the market, trading gold. Just two little contracts, not trading large amounts of contracts. We also trade bond auctions, and we have unique ways of doing things. We trade, sometimes we'll use the YM on a bond auction. But I hope that I'm getting you interested in what we do. We have a free gift if you'd like a free week in our trade room. We have a free week in our trade room that I'd like to offer to anybody that would like to watch us. We also have a new pro membership for $24. You can be a full member for 30 days. Software access, trade room access, daily trade reports, those trade reports that I showed you, access to the trade reports also. Will include everything in our system that a person needs to trade events successfully. The only thing that you have to add is a NinjaTrader futures account and data, okay? These are the DMMs. For instance, today we had multiple trade rooms. We had PCE prices, we had Canada GDP, which we did not recommend trading today, Chicago PMI, which you saw us trade, natural gas, you saw today's movement in the market. And then this evening, we'll be back in our trade room. There's 2 Chinese news reports that we like to trade. So we'll be back in the trade room at 8 o'clock this evening. That's what we do. We trade these fantastic events and add to that a couple of dozen earnings trades during earnings season that are sometimes very, very nice winning trades. I've got fantastic, so many screens of our members. We always ask our members, hey, that was great trade that you had today. Send me your screenshot. So one of our members sends me a screenshot. I don't even trade the Swiss franc, and he traded Swiss. Now, this isn't the right screenshot. I'll send you the right one. This was his NQ trade on an earnings trade. But he sent me a screenshot trading the Swiss franc on the Swiss interest rate trade. He designed the trade using everything we taught him, and he made over $350 last week trading Swiss CPI. So, or their bank rate statement. I forget which one it was, but he sent me the screenshot. Fantastic. That's our goal. Our goal is for you to send us screenshots showing that you're having winning trades, and it's even more awesome when you send us winning trades of events that you look for. We don't trade every single event. There's dozens that we don't trade. There's dozens we don't know about, right? There's always new events. So we're going to give you 30 days free. Not free, sorry, 30 days for $24, a free week in our trade room. Let me just give you the quick lowdown on the slides here so I can give you the links. So give me half a second. We'll get cracking. I want to thank everybody. Just to give you an idea, so for $24, free a 30-day trial to our trade room, to our software, to our daily market movers, www.gotrade2024.com. That's our pro membership, www.gotrade2024.com. Okay? 30 days for $24, then $97 a month to continue. Now, if you would like to get a free week in our trade room, let me give you the link to the password. It's free day. And here is the URL also. And just so you know, I've turned on that password now, so you can sneak into our trade room tonight. Here's the URL. Okay. The password is free day. Let me see if I can make a little bit of a mess here, but I'll type this into the chat for you all. So anybody, oh, did you do it for me?
Not to interrupt, but I did it for you.
Okay. Thank you, Rob. And then our link
Yes,
for our
sir.
sale is www.gotrade2024.com, www.gotrade2024.com, to become a member for 30 days for just $24. If anybody has any questions, I think I have 1 minute, Rob, if I'm good. The internet speed, does it have to be very, very fast for those setups? So Clovis, a very good question. Obviously, for trading, you want to have good internet speed no matter what. Obviously, yes, you want to have fast internet speed, but one of our most successful traders is trading in Kenya, and she's using Starlink. Starlink does not have ultra fast internet. Obviously, the faster the better, because you could get better fills possibly. There are other things, though, besides just speed of the internet that could affect the speed of whether you can trade events well. So it's important to keep that all in mind, that there's more than just one thing that matters. Okay? Let me put up my final slide so everybody can see. Those are the important links: www.gotrade2024.com. Free week in the trade room, the password free day, FREEDAY. I don't see any other questions. Rob, thank you so much for inviting me, and I hope to see you soon. I think I'll be back in March, so I'm happy to be here again.